How you doing? Today I'm going to start off my conversation with the Diet Mountain Dew commercial. The reason I want to bring it up is because in the commercial, who's it, the race car driver, Gordon or something, I guess, I don't know, Dale Earnhardt Jr. Well, he trades his car, which, by the way, he doesn't actually own. It's actually sponsored by sponsors. So he doesn't actually own his car, but he trades his car for the last Diet Dew. So the guy's about to take off. He's like, "Hey, make sure you bring it back in one piece." That's what I'm getting at. It's a trade. It's not like he said, "Oh, I'll let you use my car for a couple hours for the last Dew." No, he said, "I'm going to trade my multi-million-dollar race car for the last Diet Dew." It just gets me. I'm like, no, you don't get it back. You traded it. It was a dumb deal, but you traded it off. I guess one of the reasons why healthcare is so high in America, and I just watched one from John Green from Vlogbrothers, doing a whole thing. It was really good. It's most of the doctors who make the buku bucks, you find out that they work maybe 2-3 hours a day. The rest of their time is out on the golf course, or out playing games, or out drinking, or out doing something else besides being a doctor. And they're being paid like absorbent amounts of money. Whereas a good doctor, and I've seen them, they'll work, in the hospital doing their rounds for, a good 8-hour shift, a normal shift. And then when they're not working, they're studying. They're saying, "Hey, let's learn about some new diseases. Let's learn about some new treatments." Not just, you know what? I don't understand this disease too much. Let's just run a bunch of tests on it. And that's the other reason why America is so high, is that because of the malpractice suits, they run all these extra tests just to be safe. It's like, oh, just to be safe, let's run a bunch of other tests. And, yeah, I don't think we need all that. What else was it that I was thinking? So this guy yesterday, I was checking out, and I had one item. I had one avocado. So I turned to him and said, "Hey, you can put your stuff on the belt if you want." And now he didn't have any headphones on, but he just ignored me. I'm like, okay, whatever. He's one of those people. So the guy in front of me finally gets all his stuff off the belt, and I'm standing with my one item. So I don't set it on the belt because, I want to leave room for this guy to put his stuff on, because he has stuff to be put on. So I set on that little triangular piece, I guess, right off the belt, And I'm waiting for the lady, of course, start ringing me up. And and finally, after, she's finishing with the guy in front of me, finally he comes over, he sets down the, the little divider and starts filling up half the belt. And I'm just thinking, like, why don't you just fill up the whole fucking belt? Why fill up half? It's like, I have one item. I don't know. It's just these things that, like, sometimes I just wonder, like, what are people thinking in their heads? Like, why do they do the things they do? You know, I can honestly quit my job if I had $1 for every person that lived in a Ryan or Miranda home, because so many customers come in and they're like, oh, I need to fix this. This wasn't installed properly. The way they did it was they didn't put a junction box in the ceiling. They just ran this. And so many times they'll come in like, oh, I had the Miranda home and my outlet stopped working. I'm like, well, was it the jab in style or with the screw, put around? Oh, that was jabbed in. Like, that's your problem. So many times they come in and something's wrong, and you find out, oh yeah, I have a Ryan home or I have a Miranda home. And it just infuriates me, because I know they're not cheap homes. I mean, obviously they're more expensive than my home, but they're not cheap. It's not like, I mean, yeah, they're not multi-million dollars. Some of them are, but they're not cheap. And I'm just like, why? Why can't you do a decent job when you're building these homes? I once saw, when I was, driving past and working, I saw a crew pounding on shingles onto a piece of plywood, and then a truck came up, picked up that plywood, and they set it on the roof. Then what they did was, instead of actually like lifting the shingles and putting putting on the plywood properly, they would actually just nail right onto it. Some of the Republicans are actually considering abolishing minimum wage. And I guess, I don't know if they're not thinking, or if they honestly have been brainwashed by the corporations that are running our country. I mean, honestly, if there's no minimum wage, and correct me if I'm wrong, but this is what I see is going to happen, is you'll have people working for, $1 an hour because it's a job. They're going to say, oh, there's absolutely no jobs in the area. This one is offering me a job, a part-time job, for $1 an hour. You know what? Since there's nothing else available, I'm going to take that job. And obviously, if things are only if you're only making $1 an hour, I mean, you're not making any money. You're going to have a second job. You're going to have to work, 80 some hours a week with no overtime, as obvious. And you're going to have to buy only the essentials. So, like luxury items, poor people are not going to be buying any of these luxury items, not even luxury. Like, they're going to be buying food. That's it, because that's the only thing you need to survive. I mean, you might do a little bit of home improvement, but it's not going to be to better your house. It's going to be to repair. It's going to be, well, I have a leak in the roof. I'm going to buy that. I'm going to repair that. But other than that, nothing. No one's going to say, hey, you know what? I need some repairs done on my house. I would like to hire you. That people still, and I have friends online that, I watch their feeds, that still will post, oh, going on vacation for 3 weeks, not going to be home, or oh, I can't wait, coming home in 2 weeks. I'm like, okay, well, that means you're not home right now, right? I mean, and the one girl, all I had to do was put in her husband's name into the phone book directory, and I had their address. It took no time at all. Oh, look at that. The camera's turning. I forgot to lock it down. So lock it down. It boggles my mind. It's like the one kid, I was so tempted, because he actually lived nearby me. I was so tempted to go down to his house because I knew he didn't have an alarm system or anything or any cameras, and I was actually going to write on soap on his windows, "How was your vacation?" Just to show, hey, somebody on Facebook that you may be friends with, but you know what? You're not like friends with. Can find out where you live and can break in. It just boggles my mind that they did this.